Good evening, all. Welcome, friends. Welcome to the Geography optional classes. Welcome to Vision IAS. So, all you have decided to take Geography as an optional, and you are writing this mains, right? You have decided to take the optional, and you want to have some strategies. Good. Now, why Geography? Going to the basics. So, why Geography? When the question is why Geography, since it is UPSC is asking to take any one of the subject, and so we are taking one optional which is called as Geography because it is having more overlapping, right? This is what normally the people will be having the idea. See here, whenever you are coming to the Geography optional, you can maximize your score. Especially there is a trend in the UPSC like some of the subjects will be doing too good. And it was Geography which was doing extraordinarily. The moment once you write a medium answer also means what? The person who is having some basic understanding and who is having some greater affinity towards geographical subject, they used to get more than 300 marks in the optional. But in the recent past, especially after 2012, what happened? There was a change in the trend. With the change in the trend, what happened? The people are preparing the same concepts, the same mode, but since the UPSC is expecting something else, and so there was a mismatch. What was taught here, the same, very old, the trend was being continued. When the UPSC was expecting something else, now there was a mismatch. Because of that mismatch, right from 2012, there are good number of students where they want to take optional because as they feel like, as some of the seniors said that the marks are not properly given, and so the people are shifting. But whatever the statement you heard, you came across, like the marks are not given, that statement was a wrong statement. If at all you are seeing the trend again, the trend right now is again for Geography, especially right from 2022. Right from 2022, what happened? The trend was again UPSC is turning towards Geography. Meaning what? It's not UPSC is turning. What we feel like UPSC is turning towards Geography, but the people understood. Whenever you are moving in the same old fashion, UPSC is not appreciating this one, and so you need to change your trend, and so the people got changed their strategy. With the change in the strategy right from 2022 by the students, what happened? The number of marks gained by these students became more and more. Out of almost 700 students appeared with the Geography optional last year, more than 20% of the people got qualified. This is what the trend setting right now. And so getting 300 marks, out of 500 getting 300 marks is a very great doable job. It's not a miracle. Those persons who starts preparing their optional in a very, very meticulous way, a very strategical way, achieving this 300 is not a big task. What is happening here? Why the marks are not gained or scored by the students in the recent past? One has to understand their strengths and the weaknesses. Every student, every aspirant is having their own strengths and weaknesses. First of all, you need to understand your strengths and the weaknesses, and you need to ascertain, yes, I am going to get success in the subject called as geography. Because each of us came from the different socio-economic background, and so each of us will be having a different affinity towards the subjects. Whoever is entering into subject like geography, they will be having the interest towards the physical part. Some may be having interest in the economic part, and those people who are having somewhat low information regarding the either the physical part and the human part, without having any analysis, they try to choose geography only seeing the overlapping content. Whenever you are seeing the overlapping content that is present in geography optional, how many marks there are overlapped with the GS? More than 175, 180 marks of overlapping is there. What is 175? Almost all you are getting one GS paper at free of cost whenever you are choosing geography as an optional. That is overlapping with the 1, the GS1, overlapping with the GS3 in the form of ecology and environment, in the form of the disaster management, in the form of the agriculture related aspects. Also, you can find this one in the paper 1 of the, means what, GS1 of the GS1 geography, where the general studies geography is there, almost all 100 marks, 100 plus marks. The weightage is keep on increasing. This is what is happening. First of all, what is my point? The first and foremost point I would like to give to you is, whenever you are choosing geography as an optional, you should bank on in which area you are good at. Since geography is formally classified into two types. What is this one? One is called as the physical part, another one is called as the human part. This is what the general classification of the subject called as geography. But in the syllabus that is being given by the UPSC, how it has divided the subject as paper 1, as geography is divided into paper 1 and paper 2. Normally, this is in the academics, we used to classify geography into these two parts. Within this one, you can discuss the world part and the Indian part. In this one also, you can discuss what is called as the world part and the Indian part. This is how in the academics, in the universities, in the research, we used to classify this one. But here in the UPSC, when it comes to UPSC geography, how the geography subject is broadly classified, it is as paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is exclusively of the world part, whereas the paper 2 is with respect to the Indian part. And within the paper 1, see, I think all you people are having a great awareness regarding this one. But why I am giving my point is not to show you the syllabus or something. I just want to show you where your SWOT analysis should be. What is that SWOT analysis? Nothing but your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats. Like what is there in the paper 1? You can find the physical part, the physical geography. Here you'll come across the human geography. The physical includes, what are the physical chapters? The first and foremost, very broad concept, all about the study about the land and the landforms, geomorphology, which is a larger topic, where the second one includes the climatology. This is all the study regarding the climatic studies. Then the water body. Then comes the fourth one is called as the biogeography. Then comes the last one is called as the environmental geography. A very, very important concepts of environment. What is the difference between this biogeography and the environment geography? Environment is also related to the bio, nothing but the life forms. That what makes the difference? What is the major difference between the biogeography and the environmental geography? It is the impact of man on the nature. See the micro level understanding. Whenever you are having the understanding at the micro level, obviously you can set right the things at the macro level. UPSC is demanding to understand the subject at the micro level. Once you are having a very great clarity at the micro level, yes, you can write whatever the answer you want to write, basically satisfying the demand of UPSC. Ultimately, what you have to write, you have to write the demand of the UPSC. What is this biogeography? The impact of man on the nature. Till recently, man never thought like there is no impact of the nature on the man. Nature will never take the revenge. This is what the man was believing, and he was keep on doing something adversely to the nature. And so it is called as the man's impact on the nature. Of late, only in the recent past, in the 20th century, we came to know that the nature also impacts the man. The environmental geography is talking about the nature's impact on the man, man's impact on the nature, nature impacts on the man. These are the two very, very important ones. These parts, those people who are basically from the science background, they are more affiliated. In fact, right from the beginning means what? Let me take a standard time period of maybe 2000s. Right from 2000s, UPSC was giving very great questions, very great weightage for the physical part. And so physical part was having a greater demand. Every time the people are mostly banking on the physical part. But in the recent past, especially for the past 4-5 years, the trend got changed. The number of questions got declined from the physical part. More number of questions were asked from the human part. What are the content that were present in the human part? The first one is called as perspectives. Perspectives in the human geography. The perspectives in the human geography. Meaning what? How the geography as a discipline evolved over a period of time, where majority of the people, they hesitate to read this one, because it all talks about the thinkers, how the thinkers develop the subject. There are a good number of thinkers, like from the Romans, the Greeks, the Greco-Roman scholars, they are the ancient scholars. Right from then, the Arab scholars came into picture. In between, there was a dark age period. What do you mean by dark age? Where the church was dominating. At that point of time, the geographical studies not have seen the light of the day. Then comes the modern pillars of the geographers. Who are these modern pillars? These are the German scholars. All the German scholars developed geography so greatly. You might have come across some of the German scholars like Humboldt, Alexander von Humboldt. You might have come across in the oceanic currents, Humboldt current. One of the very important modern pillar of geography, Mr. Humboldt, Alexander von Humboldt. Also, such a great personality called as Karl Ritter, Immanuel Kant. These are the very important scholars. Also, some of the very important general geographical scholars you might have come across in the geography, general studies geography, Alfred Wegener, Mr. Köppen's classification of the climatic conditions. Köppen is from German. Alfred Wegener is from Germany. These are all the German scholars. They have contributed to a maximum extent, and all it is about the subject, how it got developed over a period of time. Not only the subject, how it has developed in the ancient time to the modern time, also what happened in the recent past. What happened in the recent past? Some new developments took place, like determinism. A very, very interesting topic out of all the entire the human part is the determinism. Meaning what? Dualism and the dichotomy. What do you mean by dualism and the dichotomy? Dichotomy is nothing but the contradiction. Dualism, nothing but there are two basic approaches. There are two basic approaches. Both approaches are having great rationality. When both they are having such a great rationality, which approach is more important? Which is called as dualism. Like human geography versus physical geography, which is more important. If we understand the physical aspects without the involvement of the human, is of what use? If some study is not useful for the human, for what it is useful for? It's not useful. Then whether the man has to go for a systematic approach or a regional approach. What do you mean by systematic approach? Studying the entire world as a whole is called a systematic approach. What is this regional approach? Whether you need to study a specific region or what? Which is more important? Knowing about the India is important or the world is important? If you can understand only world, where are you living? You are living in India. If you don't know the Indian scenarios, if you know the entire world scenario, is of what use? Say for example, then if you say that the world geography is more important, so the systematic geography is more important. When the systematic geography is more important, you know the world phenomena, and if you don't know what is happening in your country, what type of winds are there, what type of changes are, the modifications are taken here. If you don't know that regional part, is of no use. Both they are having their own rationalities. Both they are having their own importance. But which is more important? That is what called as what is called as dilemma between the geographers called as dualism and the dichotomy. And within this one, the very, very important dualism and the dichotomy is between the possibilism and the determinism. The determinist approach talks about everything is decided by the nature. Such a great personality by name Mrs. Ellen Semple. Ellen C. Semple, called as Ellen Churchill Semple. Such a great geographer. What she said, everything is already predetermined. Man is simply a puppet in the hands of the nature. Who is man? Man is the very dust of the nature. Yet the nature nurtured him, embraced him, took him into his hands, into nature's hand, and started teaching, and started learning, and started making the people how to be stronger. This is what Simple said. Meaning what? Man has no other choice but to follow the dictates of the nature. Determinism, environmental determinism. Then comes the social Darwinism. Meaning what? By the end of the 19th century, when we are coming to the end of the 19th century, two laws dominated. In the entire world, the entire education system, two laws dominated. What are those two laws? One, Darwinism. Another one is called as Newtonian laws. All you people might have come across Newton's law, Newton's first law, second law, third law. And with respect to the other law, the Darwinism, all you might have come across again the Charles Darwin, like survival of the fittest, struggle for existence. See, all these are the developments that happen in the world countries. You need to take the clue right from there and you need to write the answers. Whenever you are having such a broad understanding, then only your answer writing, then only your understanding about the nature also changes. Reading at a narrow level, reading at a broad level makes a lot of difference. Always you talk about, sir, how to maximize the score in the optional subjects, sir. What was your approach till now? You are preparing in a narrow way and you want to have maximum marks. How you can get the maximum marks? Unless until you are having a broader approach. In order to have that broader approach, what is a very important topic you need to know is the perspectives in the human geography. If you are learning the perspectives, then you can understand very, very great other things which are from the ancient past and the present day, how they are correlated. What happened in the ancient past and how it is impacting the present scenario. And whenever you are linking, means what? Whenever you are coming across from the ancient past to the modern, after the Germans comes the American geographers. Of course, in between the French is also there, where they are talking about the possibilism, which is exactly opposite to the determinism. What is the possibilism? The possibilism says that nature is simply a provider. What the determinism says, man is a puppet in the hands of the nature. Man has no role in decision making. Whatever the nature dictates, man has to simply follow. That is what the determinism concept, such a wonderful concept. But the other scientists, other group of scientists, what they talked about, they are the French group of geographers. They talked about the greater ability of the man, called as possibilism. They said that man is not a mere puppet in the hands of the nature. Man is having the ability to change the nature dictates. He'll be selecting the field, he'll be selecting the path. In that path, he may change the dictates of the nature. Meaning what? What is the best example? The best example is when there is a heavy temperature, and what is the dictate of the nature? Whoever is living in the high temperature region, like the desert areas, they have to suffer. They have to have perspiration. They have to have the sultry condition. That is what the dictate of the nature. But now, man, through his innovations, through his knowledge, through his creativity, what he developed is the technological innovations. Though he may be living in the area like Saudi Arabia, yet he is comfortably living. Earlier, the Saudi Arabia region is not a area to live, but right now, a greater destination. See the comparison. Whatever the geographers have given, you need to apply to the modern world. This is a very great link. If at all you are not having the concept of applicability to the modern world, there is no point in reading those concepts. Then after the possibilism, then came the changes in the very great changes in the geography. Now the people wants to make geography as a true science. What is the basic difference between the science and the social? Science is universally accepted. Social is also accepted, but with some modifications, like society cannot be universalized. Society is there in America, society is there in India, but the societal perspective in America is different from societal perspective in India. What type of society? Closed society is Indian society, whereas that one is the very broad society where the people are having a very broad outlook. That is what the one. But whereas here, ours is a closed society. When the people are following one type of culture, they are imbibed and they are bounded to be in that culture only. This is what the different types of, like, what type of attire the people are wearing, what type of the food habits the people are having. That is completely different between the American society and the Indian society. Means what? Society is common, but the attributes related to the society and attributes related to that society are different. But whereas science is not like that. Once the science formula is there, it is universally applicable without any modifications. Here the modifications are there. And so they want to bring a standard definition between all the societies. They developed a revolution in the geography called as quantitative approach, making geography more science, developing the models. See the next one, it's called as models and theories. Models and theories. Where in fact in our syllabus it is given not exactly under the perspectives, it is the 5th chapter that is there. In between there are some other things. Let we see the models and theories. Why the models and theories are so important? Why the models and theories are so important? In order to make geography a true science which can be accepted by all the people. This is what the developing of the concept called as models. Whenever there is a model, the model is applicable everywhere. Agricultural locational model, then industrial location model, then the central place theory. All these are the very, very important models where the political geographers develop certain models called as the heartland theory, the rimland theory. Development of the models and theories is a concept derivative of the perspective itself. When there was a quite unrest, see the story behind. When the Quantitative Revolution was there, then the people slowly moved from the Quantitative Revolution, saying that no, building of the theory and the concepts, theories and the models is not that much required in the geography. Let you make geography as it is. Let us not modify geography. Then developed their revolution again. What is that revolution? Why the models needs not to be introduced in geography, called as behavioralism? Because the behavior of the man cannot be generalized. The same person can behave in different types in two different situations. He will not be having a standard behavior in every condition. And so the new concept developed. As and when the time is progressing, there was an unrest in America. When there was an unrest in America, a new approach, the young geographers, group of young geographers developed a concept called as the radicalism. What the radicalism talks about? It talks about how to bring welfare to the people. What is most important for any society? Welfare is important. If the welfare is not important, welfare is not there, for what the development for that society? And so the radicalism and the welfareism also developed in this area. This is what the perspectives in the human geography. Then comes the other very important concept that was there in the human geography is the economic geography. Economic geography. What do you mean by economic geography? Meaning what? From where the man is getting the food and comforts from, like agriculture, industries. Each and every concept like agriculture needs to be connected with the models and theories. Industries needs to be connected with the models and theories. Regarding agriculture, the entire world was divided into varieties of agriculture called as typologies. What type of agricultural typologies are present in the world countries? That is what the interlinking. Then industries, the type of model is called as Alfred Weber model. In the agriculture is a Van Thunen model. This is a Alfred Weber's model, where an industry should be located. What are the location triangles? What do you mean by isodopanes? What do you mean by the agglomeration? All they are interconnected in order to make the entrepreneurs to develop more wealth, the profit maximization concept. Then comes the transport. I will be linking all those concepts. See, agriculture, what type of connectivity is there right now? I am giving just brief introduction of agriculture and the words like industries. What is the present world? The present concept. What happens to the present? Nothing but it is the current related. You need to talk about the current because these are the things where the questions are coming from. For these questions, how you need to write the answer? Is the approach, could able to understand the approach? Right now, I am making you familiar with the contents that are present in the syllabus. Now, we will be connecting to the present context. What is happening right now? What was our model? What was taught in the core subject? What is happening in the present context? And from where the questions will be coming from. For those questions, how you need to write the answer. Let me complete this one, then we'll come to this part. This part is the one which is the current aspect. I'll take over one very important case study. I will explain what happened recently. Recently in the sense, not 1 year back, not 1 month back, not 1 week back. Where is our Prime Minister today? He's in Russia. Because of the developments right now between the India and Russia, a new logistic principle is being developed. A new trading route was developed. What is the trading route? That we are going to connect. In the concept called as in the agriculture, then the industries, then the transport. That is the transport we are going to connect. And I will be showing how to write the answer for that one. Then after this economic geography, the next one is called as population and settlements. Meaning what? What the human geography includes? It includes two parts. One is economic geography and the social geography. What do you mean by economic geography? The geography overlapping with the economy. What is social geography? Geography overlapping with the sociology. Without society, man is called as a social animal. And so there must be a overlapping there. Man has to survive in the on the earth's surface, and so he needs to perform certain activities. What are those activities? Nothing but the economic activities. Therefore, the geography is having the overlapping with another two disciplines, which is called as interdisciplinary approach. Here also there is a overlapping which is called as the overlapping with the environment. Then why we didn't talk about this one? Because it is more or less which is part and parcel of geography right from the beginning. And so we have not divided that one, but here these two are the exclusive separate disciplines. One is economic geography and one is social geography, population and settlements. Then after this one, regional development and planning. Regional development and planning. Meaning what? Regional development simply. What is this regional development? What is this planning? This is what the paper 1. What is paper 2? Paper 2 is not visible to you. It is imbibed in this one. Got the point? Paper 2 is imbibed completely within this one. Meaning what? What are the chapters that are there in the paper 2? First and foremost one, physical settings of India. The next one, resources. Meaning what? Then agriculture. Meaning what? When we are dealing with the world agriculture, we will be talking about the models. Then we'll go to the Indian part, the Indian problems in the agriculture, strategies, the modern concept. What is the modern concept? Agriculture with the changing climate, how they are related, whether the agriculture is smart or not, the climate smart agriculture, that is what the question that can be asked. Then after agriculture, then industries, where industries comes again in this part. You should be having a very keen understanding of the syllabus itself. If the syllabus is not clear to you, you cannot answer in which way the answer should be. In order to have the very great approach for the answer writing, you should be having a keen understanding on the syllabus. Syllabus, having the command on the syllabus is a prime requisite. This is the one. Then population of India. Then the culture of India, again within this one. What are the settlements like urban settlements, rural morphology, urban morphology, what do you mean by rural-urban fringe, what is happening in the present scenario. All they are dealt here within the world population and the Indian population. Then regional development, regional planning and development in India, how the region got developed, where the world regional planning and the Indian regional planning is having a very great correlation. Then the last topic that is present there in that Indian paper 2, nothing but the Indian geography, contemporary issues. What are contemporary issues? What is happening right now with the flood conditions, then the drought conditions. See, this is the command you should be having over the entire syllabus. Don't simply see the syllabus. You need to study the syllabus. Which question, once you read the question, you should analyze from which topic the question was derived from. When you know from where the question was asked from, then you can give the right answer. If at all the question is asked, if the question is asked from this stage, and if at all you are giving the answer at this stage, definitely there won't be any correlation. You should be knowing from where the question is asked from, which perspective the question is asked, whether the question is demanding. See, majority of the time what happens, see this statement, majority of the time understanding the question itself is not clear for the students. When the question itself is not clear, what type of answer you can give? And so understanding the question itself is the crux of the exam. Again, you need to underline this statement. This statement is a very, very important statement. Understanding the question itself is the crux of the exam. You need to understand from where the question was asked. If you don't know from where the question was asked, definitely the answer cannot be a straight answer. Definitely the marks will be less. In order to understand from where the question was asked, you should be having a great command over the syllabus. Where is paper 2? Paper 2 is invisible within the paper 1. And so, whenever it is invisible within the paper 1, whenever you are writing the answers in the paper 2, always keep on referring to the paper 1. Because when it is not visible, you need to refer with what? The paper 1. Whenever you are talking about the agriculture of India, talk about the Vantunan model. Whenever you are talking about the agriculture of India, you need to talk about the Whitley's agriculture typologies. Whenever you are talking about the agriculture of India, you need to talk about how the developments are happening right now with respect to the environment. This is the correlation. Why the people till now, recently, till 2021-20, where the marks, till 2019 I can say, till 2019-18, where the marks are not so greatly affiliated to this optional subject because of the approach, where they are not following this approach. Whenever you are following a specific approach, definitely Marks in the UPSC. In fact, UPSC is waiting for the marks to be given. They want to give the marks, but we are not up to the mark. When you are not up to the mark and you are blaming the UPSC. Is it clear? This is the entire syllabus. This is the first leg of the explanation. I'll give you chance for each and everyone to ask the questions, but understand the approach. First of all, this is the first step in this UPSC preparation. How your preparation should be? It has to be in these lines. Don't see the paper 2 at all. It has to be imbibed here itself. Physical part, Indian physical part. Human part, Indian human part. Is it clear? Whenever you are talking about the perspectives, then you need to talk about the models, and then you need to talk about the Indian part. Is it clear? This is the link. Whenever you are having the link, while from the preparation itself, obviously you will be maintaining the same link even in the answer writing. Always the link needs to be established. Got the point? Now, after talking about the two major segments of the geography, you need to understand your strength and your weakness. Where your mind goes, that is very, very important. Each and every person is unique. For someone, physical geography is very easy. They can understand, they can analyze, they can think. Even they won't read. Once they will be sitting and they will be thinking, they can see the picture. How the river is flowing, how the mountain is being eroded, how the shape of the mountain is there, whether the slope is declining or what, or the slope is retreating. All the things can be analyzed, visualized by the people. For those people who are having the logical understanding, they can deduct logically. But for someone, they may not see the things clearly. For someone, what is more important is understanding about the why a industry should be located there, why the population is more concentrated there, why the civilizations developed in that particular region, why the tribe is behaving in particular fashion, why the developments in that particular region are not happening, why that region, though it is though that region is blessed with number of resources, though a region is blessed with so many resources naturally, yet the economic development is not there. The best example, which state is having a rich mineral belt? Jharkhand. What is the state development with respect to the country development? It is below the country's average. Whereas the states like Gujarat, in the GDP, state GDP, much above the country's average. Tamil Nadu, much above the country's average. What type of minerals are there in Tamil Nadu? What type of minerals are there in the Gujarat? What type of minerals are present in Jharkhand? Which is having more minerals? Jharkhand. And so where the economic development should be? Jharkhand. But where is economic development? Below the country's development. Why it is like this one? For some people, this area is more attracting. Wherever your mind goes, you need to choose that topic. Because in our optional paper, the first and the fifth question are compulsory questions. The first and the fifth question you have to write. And out of remaining 6, you need to choose only 3. When you need to choose 3, definitely there is no other way out. From either this section or this section, you need to choose 2. That decision you need to take beforehand, before going the exam. Where your mind goes, whether I am good in physical part, whether I am good in the human part, you need to choose before the exam. Got the point? Means what? Your strategy should be concentrating on where I need to spend more time, where I need to invest more. Whenever I am investing more, definitely the return should be more. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what is the thing? You need to get the marks. If you are loving the subject like anything, sir, I love the subject, sir, but if you are not getting marks enough, it's of what use? Got the point? Whenever you are investing your time, whenever you are investing your energy, there must be a return. If the return is not there, no point. As a safer side, you need to have some other topics also handy, because sometimes maybe a googly may be there, maybe a bouncer may be there. What do you mean by bouncer? Bouncer is such a question where the people never heard about. The people, though you might have read n number of books, though you might have come across so many material, but UPSC will be every year one bouncer, a googly will be given. You should not fear with that one. What you can do is, you need to feel happy. Yes, I don't know this one. When you don't know, you need to keep that one aside. You need to see the remaining. You need to feel like if that question is for some 20 marks or maybe 15 marks, I'm not writing for 250 marks, I'm writing for only 235 marks. You need to tell your mind. You should be psychologically very strong. Whenever you are psychologically very strong, then only you can crack this exam. If you get panic, oh my God, something is there, I could not understand this one. What is this one? I read so many years optional and I couldn't understand. This called as pediplanation, something is there. The chorology is there. Maybe something called as some new word, speculothums are being given. Then, when that is not there, you need to keep that one simply aside. And out of 235, how many marks you are going to get? That is what your challenge. 150 is an accessible thing. You need not to get 200. What is your demand? The demand is, out of 250, there is an excuse for 100 marks and let me get only 150, more than sufficient in one paper. In another paper, you will be targeting again 160 plus. This is the attitude. Whenever you are having that attitude, definitely you are going to get the one. Is it clear? See, where your mind goes, whether it is physical, where you are strong, whether you are in the physically strong or in the human part you are strong at. At the same time, having said this one, psychologically you need to feel, yes, I am going to attempt 2 questions from this section, 1 from this one. At the same time, you should be having the other knowledge also, so that you should be in a position to attempt the other questions also. It's not like you cannot read, you can skip that one. There is no such thing called as skipping at all. Why this statement? Again, sir, such a wonderful strategy, sir. I will be selecting 2 from this one, 1 from this one. Let me read only models and perspectives. My job is done. Why to go for economic, geography and all these things? Why I am telling to get ready for this one also? Because see the trend. What happened right from 2020, especially 2019-20, 2019-20 especially, the shift of asking the questions from physical to human happened. Especially which part of the human where the questions are more likely to come? See the point. Economic geography, where the more questions are coming from. Economic geography. Then population geography. Economic geography, population geography. What is economic part? Agriculture, industries, transport. Population, urban, rural, morphologies, how the settlement has to be there, how the society needs to be developed. It is interlinked with regional geography. Very, very important interlinking. The questions are basically asked in this area right now. Very great connectivity questions are there. So great connectivity is there, both in paper 1, paper 2, where the connectivity is established in such a way that you cannot answer that question with one topic only. unless until you are having the command over the other topic. Because, why I am giving again? Just now I said that, yes, you can bank either this or that. Having said that, see the pattern that got changed. Though you can bank either this or that, psychologically you need to decide this one or that one. At the same time, having said that, you should be having the knowledge of other concepts also. It's not like you can skip that one. No, absolutely not. You cannot skip. You may choose, you are forced to choose sometimes. You are forced to choose 2 questions here and 2 questions there. When you psychologically fix in your mind that you want to write 2 questions from here and 1 question from here, if you go into the exam with this mindset and if you see the paper, then you are forced to change your decision. You should be flexible enough. You should be flexible enough. Why? Because majority of the questions, especially after 2020, more orientation is towards this part. How a regional development is happening because of how one area can be developed. See the concept. Suppose this is one settlement, one city. As such, what is the inherent property of the city? The city will be keep on growing as and when the migration is happening, as and when the new technology is brought, as and when the people are working hard, and so the city starts growing like this one. When the city starts growing, you are a urban planner. Now the city is growing like this one. Meaning what? More towards one particular direction. When the city is growing in one particular direction, as an urban planner, as a regional geographer, you should not allow the city to grow only in one direction. You need to see the uniform development of the region. Meaning what? When the statement was given in the textbook like, as an urban geographer, you need to see the uniform development. Meaning what? Let me give you the example. The land right from here to here, it may be 100 kilometers. The distance is 100 kilometers. At 100 kilometers of the distance, the land value maybe is 1 lakh. The land is having the value of 1 lakh per 1 square kilometer. Maybe 1 square meter. Instead of kilometer, let us imagine like 1 square meter. What is the area? Means what is the value of the land? 1 lakh rupee. Whereas here, the distance may be just 40 kilometers. The land value here is hardly less than 50,000. If it is less than 50,000, who is at loss? The people, the area, the developments in this area completely are handicapped. This leads to what? This leads to what? Regional imbalances. Whenever the regional imbalances takes place, this part of the city faces poverty. This part of the city develops ghettos. What are ghettos? Nothing but the slums. The slums develop and no development takes place. This particular price keep on reduces. This is what happened. And so the urban geographers need to step in. They need to develop this region by inserting a nucleus. By inserting a nucleus. What is that nucleus? There's a growth center. They have to establish an artificial developer. Maybe a growth pole. Maybe airport needs to be constructed here. When the airport gets constructed, as there is no other choice for the people, all the people runs to this area in order to transport. When the airport comes here, by seeing the airport, you can find all the hotels, all the restaurants, and so the area starts growing. On the other side, whoever is having the understandability about and interest about this one, they need to bank on the regional development. Always it is according to our mindset, because there is no such hard and fast rule like every person should be having a very keen interest in the economic development, keen interest in the what is called as the social achievements, the keen interest in the regional development. It is according to our mindset. We need to invest more. Whenever you are keep on investing in that topic more, obviously you'll be getting more returns from that area. You need to select a proper strategy for this one according to your mindset. Sir, why don't you give one strategy, sir? What is your mindset? How do the people know? There is no generalization. That is the reason why some people gain greater marks, why some people are unable to gain. Is that clear? This is what a very, very important underlying factor why the people are not on par. Whoever understand their SWOT analysis, whoever understand their strengths, whoever understand their weaknesses, they will be having an approach. Clear? Is it okay? Now, see this one. What type of questions are asked in the recent past? Let me show the questions. What type of questions are there? Nowadays, there is a shift from the physical geography to the human part. Out of the 8 questions, right? The total number of, if at all I am dividing the sub questions also, if there are some 26 to 28 questions, hardly how many questions are coming from the physical part? Not less than even 8. Out of 26 to 28 total questions, more than 8 questions are not there. So how many questions are there from the physical part? Only 8 questions. And how many questions are from the human part? 20 questions are there. When more than half of the questions are from the human part, you should be having a very great understanding of that particular concept also. And so you should be investing more time, and you need to set your mind, yes, I am going to study this particular part, I am going to study this particular concept of under economic geography. Which part? Either it may be agriculture, either it may be industries, either it may be the what is called as the transport, world trade, what is happening to the world trade, that you need to understand. The contemporary issues needs to be understood. In your answer, let me give the structure to the answer. Basically, the questions are asked. Now we are entering how to write the answer, right? Whenever you are approaching to this style, then you can maximize your marks. See this one. The questions are basically, broadly, we can divide that one into 2 types. One, the question may be asked as either discuss, describe. One set of the questions will be like this one. Discuss, so and so. Describe, so and so. Right? There is another pattern of asking. One is called as explain, examine. These are the very, very broad key terms that are asked. There are so many other terms, but these are the very, very possible key terms that are asked. Specifically, I am talking about what? I am talking not about the entire part. This is the part where the new pattern, this is the one. In this segment, connectivity between the regional development and planning, economic geography and the population geography. The club of economic geography and the population geography towards the regional development and planning. When the linkage is there here, the questions are basically like this one. Discuss, describe, examine, explain. Students normally what they feel, whatever the idea that is there, whatever the discussion that is there, means what? Behind this discuss, they give very less importance to the word discuss, and what is there on the other side, they will be talking more about that one. Like, say, for example, discuss the agroclimatic regions of India. Got the point? What are the agroclimatic regions of India? Then, sir, I know the agroclimatic regions, sir, wonderfully. There are 15 agroclimatic regions, and the people start writing. There are 15 agroclimatic, the Planning Commission of India didn't like this, that one, and you will be keep on writing. But what is the word discuss? What it is the demanding? What is it is demanding? What type of answer should be there according to UPSC? In the evaluation, the evaluators are given certain instructions. If this is written, you give this point. If it is there in this answer, you need to give this much of mark. Instructions are there. And you are writing all those things, whatever you know, and that is not correlating to this one. Is the evaluator is in a position to give the mark? He cannot give the mark. His hands are tied. Whatever is given as the instruction to the evaluator, if at all you are writing those things, then he is having free hand to give the mark. If that is not there, how can he give? He can't give the marks. And so these points becomes key. They play a key role. Whenever you are talking about the discuss, you need to understand this very important point. What is discussed in the answer, definitely whatever the question that was asked about, you need to explain merits and demerits. Merits and demerits should be explained. If at all you are not discussing the merits and the demerits, you have not written the answer at all. You have simply explained. What is that explanation part is nothing but describe. In the describe, you need not to write the merits and the demerits. You need to simply describe, you need to describe the factual part. Whatever the factual information that is there, you need to write elaborately the factual part. And everyone is talking about, sir, the structure of the answer, sir, introduction should be there, conclusion should be there. Yes, they should be there, but what should be there in the body? Whenever there is a question that is talking about the discourse, definitely the answer should talk about the merits and the demerits. What is the need of dividing India into agroclimatic regions? If at all you are not writing that one and you write all the agroclimatic regions, explaining which state comes under which agroclimatic region, no point. You have given only half answer. Answer you will be getting 1/4 marks. Out of 10 marks, you will be getting 2.5. Why? Because what is the question demands? The demanding of the question is write the merits and the demerits. That itself is a self-explanatory word. Discuss, meaning what? Yes, you need to discuss. Merits, demerits. If the merits and demerits are not given and you are keep on writing the answer, that is the reason why the marks are not awarded. Is it clear? Whereas describe, yes, you are given a free hand. You need to talk about whatever the factual information that is there with respect to that question. You need not to assess what is called as the merit and demerit. You provide all the factual information, whatever the information that is available in the material, in the notes, in the textbook. Yes, you give all the material, all the information. Your answer will be perfect. That is what the description. The question itself is a description. Come and describe the Great Northern Plains. You need to describe all the Great Northern Plains extend right from that area to this area for about 3,200 kilometers, that is divided further into North Rajasthan Plain, then Punjab Plains, then Ganga Plains, Brahmaputra Plains, and explain what are Rajasthan Plains, what are Punjab Plains, what are Brahmaputra Plains. You are describing there. But when the question is demanding to discuss, no. You should not simply talk about. Discuss what are geostrophic winds. Meaning what? You need to start with the definition. What do you mean by geostrophic wind? These are the winds which are blowing parallel to that of the isobars. When there is a very great impact of the, wherever the pressure gradient force and the Coriolis force acts perpendicular to each other, then the geostrophic winds are found. Then you need to talk about the pros and the cons, nothing but the merits and the demerits. If at all you are simply talking about geostrophic wind, you will not be getting good marks. These winds are the ones which are responsible for having changes in the weather conditions. These are the things you are supposed to discuss. Could you understand the essence of this one? Majority of the questions in geography specifically, in some other subjects where some other concepts are given, but in geography, these are the very important key terms that are being asked. One, this is one set. The other one, what is other one? One is called as explain, another one is called as examine. This is very deadly dangerous. What is this examine? You need to examine, you need to dissect, you need to analyze, you need to introspect. Total of analysis. You need to analyze whether that is important for the Indian government or not, whether that policy is important for that area or not, whether that policy is giving the bright result or not, whether that policy is giving positive things. Yes, it is giving positive things. No, it is impacting some other people. It is alienating the people. It is not assimilating the people. You need to tell what is the impact of this one. You need to give more and more examples. Examples should be given. If the examples are not there, then it is very difficult. It is the examples which makes the things enlightened. This is what you need to do. Then explain. What is this explain? Simply, you are talking about what are the fact parts that are there, the factual things that are there. These things needs to be written. Again, in the explanation, you need to confine yourself with what is called as the definition, what it is about, where it is applicable, and you need to talk about the entire story about that particular topic, whatever it is being asked to, right? This is about the explain. These are the two very, very important terms that are very important for you to write. Very important in the optional part. You need to pay very great attention on these two terms. Right? Now coming to one example. Let us talk about the example. Like whenever you are talking about the environmental part, what type of questions are asked nowadays? See the type of questions that are asked. The questions are not simply asked just like that. It is an assimilation of one concept with the other concept. The mix of physical part with the human part is a blend. The best example, if you are going to the previous year question paper, how the channel morphology is impacting the economic development of the region. How the channel morphology is impacting the agricultural regions of that area. How the channel morphology is enhancing the transport development. The transport is linked. Channel morphology. What is channel morphology? How the river is flowing, whether the river water velocity is high, whether the erosion capacity is high, whether the river load is high. These are the dynamics of the fluid dynamics. And so the changes in the river path, these are the channel morphologies. How it is impacting the transportation? Because the government of India introduced the program called as Jal Marg Vikas program. A very, very effective program called as Jal Marg Vikas program. What is this Jal Marg Vikas program? In order to develop the inland transportation, especially the inland water transportation, developing the waterways, so that the cost of transportation will be very less, and so you can find the accessibility of the goods. This topic, Jal Marg Vikas program, enhancing the river transportation, inland river transportation. See, one is program, another one is the transportation network specifically to the northeastern India. Why specifically to the northeastern India? Is the northeast India is a landlocked region. When it is landlocked, how to bring betterments? What do you mean by landlocked? It is not having the overseas transportation. We cannot directly reach there. Whenever you want to travel from mainland India to the northeastern India, the corridor is called as Chicken Necks corridor. A narrow connectivity is there. In between, big Bangladesh is there. And so, what is very important is the logistics are very important. The transportation is very important. And so, the people are talking more about the inland water transport. Why the inland water transport? You can find the earlier concept. What are the earlier concepts? The earlier concept is called as Kaladan multimodal project. There is a river which is flowing right from the Mizoram region into the Myanmar, from Myanmar into Bay of Bengal, right from the Bay of Bengal region, meaning what? If this is the northeastern India, this is Calcutta. Right from Calcutta, I can directly come to Myanmar. Over the river, Kaladan, the name of the river is called as Kaladan River. You can go over water and can reach the northeast India within no time. This is the earlier project where the project got kept in abeyance because of some developments that are happening in the Myanmar region, where we are very much okay with this one, but because the developments where the junta government is again having some tussle with the democrats there, and so there is a abeyance in the program. The program was held. Now we need to bring one more strategy through Bangladesh, inland water transport. How? Not just from one state to another state, from one country to another country, where the new trading routes are being developed, called as inland river transport. What is that inland river transport? What is the river that is flowing as a common boundary between Bangladesh and India? The development of MOU between India and Bangladesh to make the river called as Kushiara River navigable. And right now, who is working on this one? Bangladesh government is working in the Bangladeshi side, and the Assam government, nothing but the Indian government is working on the Indian side to make the river navigable. Naturally, it is not navigable. Now we are making this one navigable. This is with respect to the neighborhood. Now, coming to the very important connectivity. The name of the concept, since India and Russia are having very great cordial friendship right now, what can be the futuristic question? In the next upcoming paper, this can be a very important and the dynamic question. What type of relations are there between India and Russia? We have penned an agreement yesterday. What is that agreement? Development of international north-south transport corridor. Already 2 trains have left Russia with full of coking coal. From where to where? From Russia till Mumbai. Sir, train Russia, how the Russian coal is sent to India? Where is Russia? Where is India? When the coal is sent, why this particular transportation route is very important? What are the international implications that are there? Understand all these things. Very, very important. Probably this can be a important question for you in the optional part. What is the one? Now see this is the Asia map. Suppose if this is the Asia map, right? And Europe. At present, Russia, though it is very thick friend of India, this is Russia, is a very thick friend of India, where we are having very great cordial relationships. Because of the developments like Russia, Ukraine, war is happening on one side. Because of this war, many of the European countries are maintaining at arm's length with Russia. And so the Russian products, especially the coal, there is a very important coal mining center called as Kuzbas. The Kuzbas coal mining center, one of the world's important coal mining center. From this area, where the coal is not uplifted by these people, when the resources are not sold, how comes Russia can have very great economic development? And so it is shifting its foreign policy. What was the foreign policy of the Russia till now? It was having a trade with the Western European people. Now the trade shifted to Asiatic countries. Not just India, to all the Asiatic countries. And so in that process only, there was a very great cordial agreement between Russia and China. What was the agreement? Do you know this one? Unrestricted trade between Russia and China, recently developed. And when the agreement was happening, they are skeptic about India. And Mr. Jaishankar was being invited by Russian government. See, you need not to worry. We are having the agreement with the Chinese government in certain terms. When it comes to the conflict of interest, definitely we will be supporting India. That was a promise given by Russia to India. This is what the agreement. When Russia is so cordial to India, but of what use? Because of great distance that is there. Right now, what is the route, how the goods are transported? See the goods, right from Bombay, the steamer or the ship has to travel through the Arabian waters, means what, over the Arabian waters, need to enter into Gulf of Aden, need to move over Red Sea. What happened in the Red Sea? When one of the ship got struck up there, almost all 2 weeks of world trade got stopped. If the world trade stops for 1 week, one day, how much of loss is there for the world economy? $9.5 billion 1 day. How many weeks the ship got struck up there? 2 weeks. How much of loss? Because that is the only trading route. This is called as the Red Sea. Then the canal, it is called as Suez Canal. The boat or the ship has to cross the Suez Canal, need to enter into the Mediterranean Sea, need to enter into the Atlantic Ocean. From the Atlantic Ocean, it has to enter into the Baltic Sea, North Sea, then Baltic Sea. From the Baltic Sea into Gulf of Bothnia. From Gulf of Bothnia into Gulf of Riga. That is what the Gulf of Riga. From here, over the land, this is called as Moscow. Over the land, let me take another color, like this is the land. Over the land, you need to go by train. How many days it takes? Minimum of 60 days, and don't talk about the cost. Minimum of 60 days and the cost is too high. Now, we are bypassing Suez Canal. One is Suez Canal. See the very great cordial friendship that is there. One is Suez Canal is been bypassed, point number 1, which is not to the liking of the Western European countries, because who is the control of the Mediterranean Sea? British is the controller. The Strait of Gibraltar is under the control of the British, right? Now, Suez Canal, we are going to bypass. How the route was developed? Because of, for the past 2 months, which port is under the control of Indian government? Which Iranian port is under the control of Indian government? It is the Iran's port, called as Chabahar port. Chabahar port was being modernized by the government of India. And so the new trading route, this is called as International North-South Transport Corridor. From Bombay, now the ship reaches Chabahar port, meaning what? We are entering into Iran. Iran and India are very, very rich and very thick friends. Bypassing the country like the Central Asiatic countries like the Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan and all these countries we are bypassing. Also bypassing the other important countries like Pakistan. We are not entering into Afghanistan. No need to enter into Afghanistan, Pakistan. Until now, what was the condition? The condition the people believed is, whenever you want to reach Russia over land, you have to pass through Pakistan, Afghanistan. But now, with the development of the Chabahar port, modernization of the Chabahar port by the government of India along the Strait of Hormuz, now we can enter from Iran easily into what is called as the Caspian Sea region. This is the Caspian Sea. On one side, which country is there along the banks of Caspian Sea? Azerbaijan is there. Again, which is a very good friend of India. From there, from Iran into Caspian Sea, from the Caspian Sea directly into the Russian territory. Directly into the Russian territory. This is the corridor called as International North-South Corridor. How much of time, maximum time it takes? 20 days. Cutting short, 40 days. When 40 days of logistics is being cut down, just imagine the cost. The cost will be very low. And so we need to develop this one on war footing basis. There are some hiccups. One is the agreement between Russia and China, the undisputed trade between free trade between Russia and China. That is one where that Russia has promised India. The other one is called as there is an agreement between Iran and China also. Long-term trade agreement is there between Iran and China. Iran said that is my part. India, you don't need to worry. You develop the international non-stop transport corridor. These are the three countries right now, they are coming close to each other. Russia, Iran, India. RII. Got the point? This is going to see the new world trade. A new route in the world is coming out. Because of the shift of the foreign policy from the West towards the Asia by Russia. Now Russia and India are trying to become more and more close. This is what the agreement that was inked between the Prime Minister of India and the President of Russia. And so already 2 trains left with the full of coal. The consignment, the first consignment is with the coal. Why coal? Because till for the past 2 to 3 years, coal is heaped up in the Russia because of the war called as Ukraine and the Russian war. Now the coal already has been supplied right from Moscow. Now it is heading towards the Caspian seabed. Once it comes to the Caspian, where that from the train it will be unloaded into the ships. Over the Caspian, you can find the ships coming till the Iran. Right from there, again over the train, means what, over the land, the coal will be brought to the Chabahar port. From Chabahar, it will be reaching Bombay. How the question can be asked here? See the question: regional development, economic geography, and the regional development. The question will be intertwisted or interconnected between these two concepts. Till now, from where we are importing the coal from? Australia. Now, the coal import from Russia has incremented at the same time. What is the greatest business with Russia? If at all you are doing business with Russia, what is the benefit? Do you know this one? Till recently, right from 1999 till recently, we are importing the Russian oil. Paying in what currency you are paying? We are paying in money. Money in what? In rupees. Normally, whenever the international trade happens, in what currency we need to pay? It has to be dollars. But the agreement between Russia and India was in such a way, we started paying in money. When we imported the raw material called as crude oil, with the great technology available at India, refining the raw material into petrol, diesel, kerosene, naphtha, and we started exporting. Do you know this one? We started exporting what? The finished goods like kerosene, diesel, petrol to all the neighboring countries. We are supplying diesel every day, some tons of diesel to Bangladesh. We are supplying petrol, diesel to Bhutan. We are supplying the petrol and diesel to the Sri Lankan region. Though we don't have petrol, from where we are purchasing from? We are purchasing from Russia. In what currency? The Indian rupees. Where is Indian rupees? It is there with the Russia. Now, what the government of India has proposed, however you are having so much of Indian rupee, why don't you purchase our gems, our jewelry, our food grains, paddy especially? Whenever you are purchasing with India, then means what? Again you will be accepting our rupees. And there is no other condition, means what? There is no other way out for Russia to purchase with India. That is the cordial friendship that is happening between India and Russia. And so, this particular trading route becomes very, very important in the futuristic transportation, in the futuristic world trade, in the futuristic regional development. How you are connecting? See this one. Economic development. See the development. You are connecting with the economic development, with the transport, and the regional development. These are the things that are interconnected. But there is a negative implication. What is the negative implication? What is that material we are importing? Coal is the energy source. Whenever you are burning more and more coal, what is the implication? Environmental implication. This is how you need to analyze any question. Whenever you are writing the answer, don't just see the positive aspects, you should be knowing the negative implication. What is that line you need to add in the conclusion? However, all it is making the area, the region to get developed, but the government of India has promised the world countries that it is going to become carbon neutral by 2070. We have promised the world countries, right? We have promised the world countries saying that we are going to become carbon neutral by 2070. Whenever you are utilizing more and more coal energy, the target may get delays. This is what the conclusion should be. Question may be asked in a different way. The international North-South transport corridor is not ecological in nature. Explain. It's not ecological in nature. Explain me what? What type of products we are importing? The importing of the products like fossil fuels. We are going to import not just the coal. In the future, we are going to import the oil and the natural gas because Russia is full of, endowed with the fossil fuels. And so they want to shift their pipelines from the Nord pipelines. What are the Nord pipelines? The pipeline that is supplying oil and the natural gas from Russia to the European countries. The Nord 1, Nord 2 pipelines. Right from there, they want to shift to the another pipelines to Asia. That is what the shift in the foreign policy. That is what the meaning of the shift in the policy. That is what you need to write the answer. Especially whenever you are writing any answer, you need to keep in mind what is the essence, from where you need to connect. Always there is a tug between economy versus ecology. More the economic development, more the environmental degradation. More the protection of the environment, less the economic development. What is important for the people? What is more important? Protection of the forest is more important, or the economic development is more important? More you protect the environment, less the economic development. When there is no money, when there is no economic development, only forest is there. Shall we stay in the forest wearing all the leaves, having the tree house? Is it advisable? Is it desirable? No. What is important? We want economic development. At the same time, the ecology needs to be preserved. Question, see the question. See the question. Pesa is going to balance between economy and ecology. Explain. This can be a question. The government of India is depending more upon the act called as Pesa Act. Now they want to see a balance. They want to strike a balance between economy and the ecology. Pesa is going to be the solution. Explain. When you don't know what is Pesa, how you will be explaining the balance between the ecology and environment? The new act, the government of India is banking more on such type of things. Under the 73rd, 74th amendments, what they are related to? The local self-government. Panchayats are being introduced in India. Now, the panchayats are extended. Panchayats are extended to scheduled areas. What are the scheduled areas? Which is mentioned in the 5th schedule of the Constitution of India, where they have a separate set of rules and regulations. Now, the panchayats are having the rule over those scheduled areas. When the panchayats is having the rule over, means what? The power over the scheduled areas, now the betterments can be brought. the people can go into the forest and can collect the forest produce? Because where the people are there, in the scheduled areas, the people are there. Where the people are there, in the panchayats. Earlier, they are monitored separately, and earlier, they don't have any control over this one. Now, the case study of Tamil Nadu, especially in the Coimbatore district of Tamil Nadu, where the panchayat has brought such a great awareness among the people in the scheduled areas. Now they are collecting the forest produce. They are leading the life very luxuriously by protecting the environment. At the same time, ecological development, economic development is also happening. The people are collecting, they are selling, and they are protecting the environment. There is a striking balance between the environmental protection and the economical development. These are all the very, very important points and the type of questions that can be asked. How to write? You need to strike a balance. The other very important concept that can be a probable question for you in the near future, called as the Great Nicobar Developmental Plan. Almost all, there are certain developmental plans worth for about 75,000 crores are already sanctioned. But what it is Nicobar? It's a great biological hotspot, biodiversity hotspot, having very great pristine environment. The ecology is so, the species are so endemic in that area, nowhere else you can find. When the projects are going to take place, like the development of the ports there, development of the infrastructural projects there, who are the people staying there? The tribal people, highly primitive people. Primitive, what is called as the primitive and vulnerable tribal group, PVTGs. These are the people they are staying there. They don't know what is ecology, they don't know what is the environment, they don't know what is economic development. They are still in the uncivilized way. Now the high infrastructural developmental projects are being sanctioned in this area. How to balance the environment and the economic development? This is one area where the questions can be. Always, from where the question is coming and how you need to give the answer for that one. You need to have a striking balance, because nowadays there is no one question that is coming from one segment. There are always two areas, they will be clubbing the one. Like the best example, just now I have seen, like Panchayat Raj, protection of the scheduled area. Then the other one, climate change and agriculture. Coal importation, importing of the coal, and the environmental degradation, how it is going to impact the local areas, right? All they are always interconnected, like this one. Sir, you are only talking about all the, what is called as the economic related and the social related aspects, sir. Why are you not talking about the physical geography, sir? Because UPSC nowadays is talking less about the physical geography. Let me take one question with respect to the physical geography even. As most of the people are feeling somewhat difficult in the concept called as slope developmental concept. Whereas the concepts in the geomorphology like plate tectonics, continental drift, the seafloor spreading and the convective currents, everyone can understood and everyone is at almost at a comfortable condition. They are in a condition where they are able to write the answers. But one area where the people are feeling not so comfortable is a slope development concept. There are three very important concepts in the slope development. One is William Morris Davis model, such a great personality who is considered as the father of American geomorphology. The next one is called as another great personality called as Walter Peng from the French School of Geography, the Walter Peng. Then the other great personality, Mr. Lester Charles L.C. Lester Charles King is from the South Africa. These are the three great personalities. These three personalities developed three different concepts. What are three different concepts? One is called as peniplanation theory. Peniplanation theory is called as, also called as the normal cycle of erosion. Normal cycle of erosion. This is called as a counterpart, a contra to peniplanation. Then this is called as, the other concept called as pediplanation. Pediplanation concept of Mr. L.C. King is called as L.C. King. When there is a question like, take the question like, explain the pediplanation concept of L.C. King. Directly the question will be like this one. What is the keyword? Explain. Meaning what? You need to talk about complete concept. You should not miss not even a single part. You need to explain clearly and completely. You need to evaluate, you need to talk about the application of these things, where you can find, you need to give the examples, everything, explain the L.C. King pediplanation. What the King's concept, especially when compared to the Davis has talked about the fluvial landforms. He's more concerned with the fluvial, nothing but river-made landforms. When the river was flowing, where the slopes get declines. How the slopes get declined? In the case of Davis, if this is the mountain, the slope get declines. The slope get declines like this one. The slope get declines. Over a period of time, the mountain forms like this one. When the mountain is forming like this one, let me show these things separately. Once upon a time, the slope was like this one. Then the slope became like this one. Then the slope became like this one. Then the slope became like this one. Right? What is the change in the angle? See the change in the angle? Earlier, this was the angle. After some hundreds and thousands of years, the angle was this. The angle got reduced. Earlier, the angle was like this one. Now the angle got reduced. Then the angle got reduced further. And the angle got declined. This is called as slope decline concept of Mr. Davis. What Mr. Peng called this. There is no question of slope decline. There can be slope retreat. What Mr. King accepted the Peng's concept, he called this one as the parallel retreat. This part, see here, whenever the mountain is reducing in height, where the slope keep on declines. What do you mean by the slope decline as per the William Morris Davis? This is what the slope. Earlier the slope of the land was like this one. It got reduced because of the weathering, nothing but the weathering, mass wasting and the erosion which is put together called as denudation. Now this is the angle. And again it got declined further. This is how the physical structures will be keep on denuded. This is what the concept of Mr. Davis slope decline model. What Mr. L.C. King talked about, see the concept. L.C. King, nothing but Lester C. King, since he studied the landforms in the South African region, where it is not the fluvial type, where you can find more arid type of landforms, he has he has opposed the concept of slope decline and he called this one as parallel retreat. What do you mean by the parallel retreat? This is the slope decline. What is happening to the parallel retreat? Now, see the parallel retreat. how a mountain can get retreated, that is called as the parallel retreat. There are four such stages in the parallel retreat according to Mr. L.C. King. One is called as the waxing stage. Another one is called as the free phase, also called as the scarp retreat stage. This is called as the debris slope. The last one is called as pediment. Is called as the pediment. What are all these things? Whenever you see the mountain like this one, this is the waxing, nothing but bulging at the top. Waxing, nothing but the concept of the, who is this guy called as the pink. The pink concept of waxing is being taken by Mr. L.C. King. He is clubbing both the concept of pink as well as the Davies, and he is giving the answer. This is the top of the mountain, what he called this one as the waxing condition. And there is a free fall of the slope of the mountain. It's called as the free phase, or also called as scarp of the mountain. Then you can find a bulged slope. This is a bulged slope which is in a convex condition, and then you can find a pediment which is a concave in structure. This is what the structure that develops by a mountain in the arid and the semi-arid area according to Mr. L.C. King. How it will be eroding, how it will get degrades. See the degradation, how the degradation is given. How the degradation happens, how the parallel retreat happens. If I am drawing the base level, this is the base level. This is the structure, right? How the parallel retreat happens. Whenever the erosion takes place, this particular concave slope where the pediments are being, means what, the broken rocky materials are being deposited, it will decline like this one. Let me take a smaller angle. This is the one. Then here, there is no change in the angle. It is bulged, the convex shape. Then we are having a free fall phase. Again, this is a waxing stage. What happened to this entire material? Removed. What happens to the slope of the one? It has retreated inside like this one. Earlier it was up to here, but now the material got eroded and it has came up to here without any change in the structure here. What happened? The entire free face is there. The convex slope is also there. Concave slope is also there, but got retreated, got eroded, got denuded. That is what the point. Then again you can find the erosion. Again you can find the bulge phase here. Again you can find the scarp. No change in this one. Again it got retreated from here to here and from here to here. This type of decline, this type of retreating is called as parallel retreating of the slope. This is what called as the L.C. King's model. How to write the answer? First of all, you need to give the definition of the pediplanation. What do you mean by pediplane according to Mr. L.C. King? Then you need to talk about what are the different stages in the formation of the pediplanations or pediments. What are the four stages? These are the four stages. You need to explain each and every stage. Compare in the conclusion with that of the Davies. Whenever you are comparing with the Davies, then it becomes a complete whole answer. This is the way how you can get more marks. The structure should be introduction. The structure should be introduction. Then the body of the content. Finally, it is the conclusion. It is what the structure for each and every question, even in the earlier questions, whatever the questions I have explained. But There in the body, you need to connect with some other things, like you need to talk about the links between the environmental development and the ecological, I mean what, environmental and the economic conditions. Here also you need to explain the parallel retreat, and in the conclusion you need to compare with the Davis model. This is what the link between the what is called as the physical, this is the physical answer. Earlier, whatever the answers I have explained, they are related to the human part. What is important, the underlining last phrase, first of all, you should be having the rich information. Whenever you are having a very, very rich information, then only you can answer whatever the question that can be asked. But before going to the exam, you should be having a well-prepared plan with you. Like, you should have prepared the comparative analysis of such models. Any model, if it is having two variations, like, one is slope decline, another is a parallel retreat, first of all, you need to develop a comparative chart. What Davis said, what the Peng said, what the King said. You need to compare. On the same lines, one more chart with respect to the climatology. What is the Köppen's classification? What is the Trevarta's classification? You need to have the comparison. What is the Thornthwaite classification? Whenever you are ready with all these informations, before you enter the exam, you need not to kill time in the exam center. Is it clear? For each and every concept, you should be having such type of comparison, such type of ready-made answers. Like, say for example, you are talking about continental drift. Since it is very easy, it is known to you, all of you, and so I am taking this one. Whenever you are writing this one, you need to have a comparative analysis with the continental drift theory. You need to have the comparison with this one, what is called as the plate tectonics. Also, isostasy. How the isostasy and the continental drift can be supporting the plate tectonics. You need to have such a interlinking. If there is a question specifically on this one, you need to talk about the authors. Who is the author? As all you people are aware. And not only the author, what type of books he has written. You should supply the content regarding the author in every topic. No matter whether it is a physical geography or the human geography, your answer should contain the scientific personalities, the thinkers. Suppose if at all you are dealing with what is called as the seafloor spreading, you need to talk about the Harry Hess. Not just the Harry Hess, you need to talk about whatever the article he has written. The essays of geopoetry, the articles written by Mr. Harry Hess, the essays on geopoetry. This is what you need to mention. When you are talking about the convective currents, you need to talk about the article written by Mr. Sir Arthur Holmes, the concept of the convective currents theory. This is what the article. Each and everything, like if at all you are talking about the human part, whenever you are talking about the determinism, whenever the determinism concept comes, you need to talk about a very great personality called as Radzel, and whatever the books he have written. Like whatever the books like the Human Geography is one book written by Mr. Radzel, and also the Political Geography is another book written by Mr. Radzel. He called a state as a organic state. Why the state is called as organic state? Because Radzel is the ardent follower of Darwin. What Darwin said, every organism try to develop on its own, survival of the fittest, struggle for existence. On the same lines, every state, like the being, like a living creature, it tries to struggle to develop, it tries to struggle to expand. This is the political geography. How a state is trying to develop, how a state is growing in nature. Who are the disciples of Ratzel? There are two very great disciples of Mr. Ratzel. One is Ellen Churchill Semple, who happens to be the American geographer. Another one is Ellsworth Huntington. You need to know these personalities like this one. The order, the chronological order is very, very important. Whoever is having the great understanding, who is the author, what is the concept, what is the book he has written. And while explaining all these things, care should be taken to use geographical terms, nothing but geographical jargon. Whenever you are explaining, you should be using the geographical language. You need to mention, see the points. Finally, I am filtering down to whatever the concept, whether it is the physical geography or the human geography, you need to talk about the thinkers, the authors, the scientific personality, the geographers. First is you need to refer the geographer. Whenever you are talking about the population, talk about the Malthus, talk about the demographic transition models, authors like Thompson, Nutterstein. Also, Karl Marx is also a personality. He's talking about the population development. Then, whenever you are talking about the development of a region, talk about the models of Perrock's, Baudelville, Perrock's model of the growth pole, Baudelville model of the growth center. Such a wonderful concepts. You need to talk about the one. Whenever you are talking about the world trade, economic development of the country, you need to talk about the Rostov model. What is this model? Every state will be having different stages of development. The first stage is called as the basic primitive stage. From there, the precondition to take off. Then the takeoff stage. After the takeoff stage, drive to maturity. After the drive to maturity, you can find the excellent state. Means what? The topmost is a maturity state. Every stage means what? Every country will be following these stages. Where is India right now? Whenever you are talking about the economic development, suppose the question is like, with the introduction of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, our India, within a span of 20 to 25 years, we started growing at an exponential scale. Explain. Then all the people will be writing, yes sir, too good, that is what is happening, that is what is happening. This is what the people will be giving the answer. But a geographer can understand the question and he will be giving the model called as Rostov model. According to Rostov model, every state will be growing in different stages. Right now, we are in this stage, like drive to maturity stage. What is the drive to maturity stage? Beyond the drive to maturity will become mature stage. This is what the stage we are in. You need to compare like this, each and every concept with the authors, nothing but the geographers, whatever the works that are there given by the authors, and whatever the concepts given by those people, you need to compare those concepts. And is there any model associated? You need to mention that model. Just one line. If at all you are mentioning that, you need to show that I know everything. Got the point? Whoever is evaluating, he should see the answer, and that fellow should come to know, yes, this personality, whoever has written this answer, he knows everything. That you need to show. Yes, you need to. It's all, in your absence. Suppose, if at all you are present, and then if someone is evaluating you, you will tell, sir, I am like this. See, how well I have dressed, how well I have groomed. Because you are in person, you will be exhibiting all these things. You don't need to open your mouth, you need to explain. If at all you are well clad and dressed, then what happens? The personality can understand, yes, you need to give this much of mark. In your absence, how you will be impressing? You need to impress that fellow because he is giving something to you. When he is giving something to you, you need to impress. Whenever you need to impress, how you need to be? Your answer should be very much in a structured manner. Always try to write in the bullet points. The body of the answer should be in the bullet points. Not more than 5-6 points, more than sufficient. Got the point? Especially in the first and the fifth question. In the first and the fifth question, your answer should be so structured, it should be represented in the bullet points. Whenever you are giving the points, bullet points, hardly 6 points, more than sufficient. You need not write, 12, 13 points. No. And at the same time, in these points, you show that I know this author who has explained this one. I know that author has written that book. I know that author has developed such model. And in the current situation, this model is applicable like this. What else is required? That fellow feels, that fellow falls in love with your answer. Whenever he is falling in love with your answer, he'll be giving more marks. This is how you need to demand. You come on, give me my mark. This is what you need to develop. And it is all a easy task, provided if at all you are keep on performing. It requires only one thing, continuous work. If you don't have patience, you cannot work. If you can't work, you cannot master. If you can't master, you will be getting less marks. All they are interconnected. How? Just like how ecology and economic development are interconnected. More the degradation of the environment, more the economic development. Less the degradation of the environment, less the economic development. Got the point? That is what the intricate link between the concepts. Keep in these words, the golden points. What are the golden points? Every answer should have a reference to a geographer. Every answer should have a reference to a geographer. No matter you are writing whether the physical geography or economic geography. These are the golden rules. You can mention them as the golden rules of answer writing. The first one, there must be a reference to a geographer. The second one, you should refer the works of the geographer. Works of the geographer. You should refer the works of the geographer. The situation means what? When that particular concept was brought, what is the need for the development of that concept? That is what the work of the geographer. Say for example, whenever you are writing the radicalism. Whenever you are writing radicalism, why the radicalism developed in America? Because of that economic condition where the factories are shutting down, the people, the workers are unrest, the people don't have proper money, and so they are killing the presidents. When the worker is not having the work in America, what the culture they developed? They go directly to the president, Mr. President, please wait, and they'll be opening fire. They'll be killing. Good number of presidents got killed. Do you know this one? In order to pacify the workers of America, what developed? Welfare approach. That is what called as radicalism. In the radicalism, the welfare approach developed. The state has to check only the welfare of the citizens, nothing else. Whether the development is there or not, forget about the one. Welfare should be there. That is what the radical geographer says. The state should see the welfare of the people. Who should see the welfare? Not ourselves. Our welfare need not be checked by ourselves. It is the responsibility of the state. That is what the radicalism talks about. Got the point? Then works of the geographer. In which era, what was the demand to bring that particular work? You need to mention. Then talk about, after the geographers, after the work of this one, whatever the model, whatever the theory that is referring, model and theory, if it is connected, model and the theory, whatever the model and whatever the theory that is connected, if it is connected, if it is not connected, no need to write about this one, right? If any model is connected and any theory is connected, then last one is called as applicability to the current situation. What is this applicability to the current situation? Conclusion. Simply, if you can maintain this one in the structure called as introduction, body, and the conclusion, that is what your job. Introduction basically starts with the definition. Body, you need to mention all these things. Conclusion is applicability. Right? Introduction, what is that key point that is asked? And whatever the wordings that are used in the question, you need to replicate those questions. Got the point? Whatever the wordings that are there in the question, that word should be there in your answer. If that word is not anywhere in the answer, again, there is no connectivity. Whatever the word that is there in the question, you need to have that word in your answer. Is it clear? Introduction normally starts with the definition or the explanation of the question. Then body should contains geographer, works of the geographer, whichever the model that is talking about. Then conclusion is the applicability of the concept in the present scenario. This is about the answer writing session, where you need to have some inputs like this one. But before coming to this conclusion, what I said, first of all, you need to have a very, very rich command over the syllabus, where that particular topic is there. I have divided the syllabus, not just like, paper 1 and paper 2. I have divided in a very formal way. Where is paper 2? That is itself is imbibed within the paper 1. Where you need interlink, you need to understand. If you can understand that interlinkage, yes, your job is half done. Whenever you are having a greater command over the syllabus itself, you are having a command on the subject. Right? If at all you are having any doubts, you can ask the doubt, and we will call it a day and close the session. What is the prime requirement? First of all, you should be having the rich, very, very rich content. If the content is not there, you cannot correlate, right? When more and more information is there with you, then only you can segregate which point needs to be written in which topic. What point is better point related to that particular concept. For that rich content, you need to prepare not less than 4 to 5 hours every day. Is mandatory, at least for the minimum of till the time period of the coaching, or once you are done with the coaching, or once you are done with the self preparation. Again the question, sir, the coaching is very much important. You can prepare on your own. Self studies also can be done, but you need to enrich your concepts by practicing more and more, What comes as a benefit whenever you are joining the coaching? What is the benefit? Instead of you understanding every concept, after doing greater research, killing more time, we'll come to the rescue. That's it. What makes the difference? The time factor is the only difference. Got the point? Whenever you are in the coaching and whenever you are not there in the coaching, what is the only difference? Definitely you can learn the things, but it takes more time for you to analyze, understand, and all these things. Within less time, we can make you to analyze and understand. That is the only thing which is differing, or else everything is one and the same. But as a condition, I am telling you, sincere advice to you is, once you are done with the entire preparation, either it is in the form of the coaching or self-study, you need to enrich the concept. How you need to enrich the concept? By writing more and more tests. If at all you are not writing the test, if you have read all the concepts, when you are having a command on the concept, how to put the concept on the paper in a very refined way, that helps only in the test, the mock test. You need to write not less than some 40 to 50 mock tests, full length I am talking about. Whenever you are writing so many such tests, then you will master whatever you have assimilated in you. Whatever you learned, you need to channelize in a proper way. For that, you need to write the more and more tests. More the test you take, more the perfection you will get. You will not be killing time. Why? Because in the test practice, what you will be doing, but you will come to know yourself, like I have to make a chart for continental drift, plate tectonics, isostasy. I have to make a chart between Thornthwaite, Köppen and the Traverta. I need to make a chart in the comparison between the growth pole, growth center. I need to make a chart between the comparison between the Christner's model and the Loesch model. I need to make a comparison between the so-called Pratt and the Airy model. You need to have a comparison charts readily available with you. And all these answers must be supported with, that is a common thing. Even in the general studies also we'll be talking about. All these concepts needs to be supported with diagrams, maps and flowcharts. Whatever it is applicable. It's not like you need to draw only diagrams, we need to draw only maps, we need to give only flowcharts. All this concept needs to be in association with the diagrams, maps and the flowcharts. Every question needs to be having at least one of the diagram or the map or the flowchart. We can draw. It's not like we cannot draw. In every concept you can draw. Clear? Fine? This is about the answer writing practice with respect to the optional geography. Jargon you need to maintain. Authors, nothing but the geographers you need to talk about. Their work you need to talk about. And the answer should be correlated with the models and the theories, along with the diagrams, flowcharts and the maps. If you can maintain these 5 points, you will be getting greater marks than that of the other personalities. These are the only key ingredients you need to do. Right? Before going to practice these things, first of all, you should be having the greater geographical knowledge about the concepts. Syllabus should be at the fingertips. From where the question was asked, you should be understanding the question, then you can connect. Is it clear? Yes, we'll stop here. With this, whatever the information I am having, I have given all this information to you. With this, I wish a great luck. And why luck, sir? Because that also plays a role. I wish you all the best, along with a small 0.01% of luck also. If that luck is not favoring, when the luck will be favoring? Whenever you are working more. When you work more, automatically luck will be searching for you. And so, I wish you to work more. Whenever you are working more, definitely luck will favors you. Right? Yes, one question. The question is, sir, do we need to have the knowledge of physics to understand geography? No need. Physics is not the parent of geography. Got the point? Suppose whenever you want to talk about ecology, what type of knowledge you should be having? You should be having the knowledge of biology and geography, right? But for geography, a person from the humanities background can master geography. A person from the science background can also master geography. That's why geography is a science as well as art. No need of having any science background, right? We can explain the things scientifically and we can explain the things generally also. The same concept. Like the best example, whenever you are talking about the heating of the land and the water, what the scientific way of explaining? The land is having less specific heat and so it increases the heat quickly. Whereas the water is having more specific heat and so it heats very slowly. This is the scientific way, using the word called as specific heat. Sir, I am not science background student, no need to talk about specific heat. I don't know what is specific heat. Then you can tell like land is opaque to the sunlight. The sun rays cannot reach deep inner layers of the land. Whereas the water is transparent to the sunlight, therefore sunlight passes deep into the inner layers and so whole of the water needs to get heated up and so it takes more time. You can write like that. No need to use the word called as specific heat specifically. No need of any knowledge of the science. You can master the geography without any science knowledge. Clear? Do we need to have the knowledge of the history, sir? No. Right? This is about geography. Geography is such a wonderful subject. If at all you are looking the things in a geographical way, you can understand everything. You can connect with every part. Yes, go ahead.
And also the atmospheric condition related to clouds, then you can recommend any YouTube channels where we can see all these video and we can clear all kinds of doubts.
What is the question? Since in the first half of the question where the mic was not there,
Yes.
in
So,
geography we need to visualize more. Sir, why to visualize, sir? Could you please refer any YouTube channel so that I can see directly the YouTube channel, someone will be showing those things? We need not to visualize. This is what the idea of our friend. But instead of directly seeing things from the YouTube, if you can visualize more, whenever you yourself is visualizing more, your knowledge, your understandability about the subject increases. I recommend you first of all read and frame a picture in your mind. That mental mapping helps you to understand the greater things.
yes, sir.
Then after that one also, if you can't understand, after that also you cannot visualize, after that also if you can't see the things very clearly, then you can watch any of the video that is available in the YouTube. There are certain websites where you can go for NOAA. The name of the website is called as NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which is related to NASA. In that one, good number of videos are there. You can rely on those videos. You can rely on the content. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. That is administration over the atmosphere and ocean. See the one. All the videos are there. You can see the videos. You can learn the things. You can understand the things very clearly. Also, there is another website called as Met Office, Meteorological Office. What is this Met Office? The Meteorological Office of United Kingdoms, where the people have given every video in a very crispy manner, content in a very crispy way, understandability of the climatic conditions, understandability of the oceanic conditions can be, you can get the knowledge there. Also, there is a website called as the BOM website. What is that BOM? Bureau of Meteorology. The name of the website is called as Bureau of Meteorology, the Australian government. Sir, you are talking about Australia, you are talking about the UK, you are talking about the USA. What about our channel? Indian Meteorological Department. Yes, you can read the content there, but the videos are not there. Right? These are the three prime sources. You can learn every concept there. Right? This is about the source which can be helping you with respect to the software. Yes, go ahead. Which one? Ah, okay. Ah. Hmm. No need to read more and more books. Whatever is prescribed in the UPSC syllabus, like what is called as perspectives in the human geography. The very chapter itself talks about how the geography as a discipline developed over a period of time. You are forced to read there, right from the Greco-Romans. What do you mean by Greco-Romans? Right from Hecatus, then Herodotus. See, Herodotus has given a wonderful statement. What the statement has given, geography has to learn historically and history has to deal geographically. Don't you think that the statement is valued even today? If you don't know the geography, you can't understand the history of that region. In order to understand the history, you should be having the knowledge of the geography. When the statement was given in the BCs. And so, such very important personalities, if we try to know those personalities, yes, we can mention them. There was a great personality called as Strabo. This guy, Strabo, written at that point of time in the 2nd century BC, he wrote 17 books. In the 17th book, he talked about the Indian conditions. The people who are living beyond the Indus are called as Indians. Who called us as Indians? Strabo. The people who are living beyond the Indus River are called as Indians. This is what he called. And there are certain other people like Eratosthenes. This is the guy, for the first time, he used the word called as geography. Right from there are a good number of people like in the Arab scholars. After the Greco-Romans, you can talk about the Arab scholars. Ibn Battuta, a very great scholar. He wrote a book called as Kitab al-Hind. Al-Baruni, a very great scholar. He wrote a book called as Kitab al-Hind. Ibn Khaldun, he wrote the book called as Muqaddimah, where in this one, they explain that the people who are living in so and so type of climate will behave in so and so way. There was a great personality where the German scholar called as Alexander von Humboldt. What he said, people living in the similar natural conditions will behave and will respond similarly. Whoever is living in a similar climatic conditions, they behave similarly. They respond to the nature similarly. That is what he said. Meaning what? The people who are living in the monsoonal type of climatic condition, they perform agriculture. That is what the meaning of that one. But the very statement was contradicted by another greater geographer from same Germany, Karl Ritter. What he said, though the people living in the similar natural conditions, they respond in a different way, provided they are having the different conditions in that area. Meaning what? Unity in diversity. You might have come across the statement called as unity in diversity. Who was the personality who is talking about the unity in diversity with respect to the climatic conditions and the human response? It was Karl Ritter. And so, whenever you are mastering the subject, the names comes automatically. You need not to master. They comes automatically. You are bound to read them, these personalities. And so, whenever you are reading, definitely you will be mentioning. Right? It's not like you need to read only about the authors. No, concept along with the author. Concept along with the author. Whenever you are understanding the social conditions of that era, automatically you can understand why that personality has thought like that. Like say for example, the great personality called as Vantunan, what he explained that how the agricultural productivity can be increased if at all you are cultivating the land in a specific fashion. What are those specific conditions at that point of time? During that era, the conditions were there like that. And so he gave the model based on that climatic conditions and that social conditions. We can understand easily provided if you are reading the concept along with the social conditions in which the author was living. Right? Automatically you will come across these personalities. It's not like you need to specifically read about the authors. No. They will be coming automatically and you are bound to read. Right? Whoever teaches, that personality will be referring the author name. Got the point? Any other? Right? Take care of yourselves. All the best. Jai Hind.